Just such a lovely morning, but it's hot and humid. Last night our low was 27 degrees Celsius, which would be a burning summer in Ireland. But here it was the best we could do last night as a low temperature. So I turned the fan on full swing and opened all the windows. Make sure air is circulating. Today we have a very powerful message about humility. It reaches back into the Old Testament, which is very beautiful, and forward with the words of Jesus in the New Testament. And it talks about the great treasure of humility. And humility isn't a prized virtue in general, and yet it's deeply loved. It's a language that speaks to everybody. Maybe haughty people despise it, but the praises of humility in this book of Sirach, so much wisdom gathered after millennia contemplating God's actions in humanity and the presence of God. Because if we look at this beautiful morning, there's no poster up saying, "I did it." It's just there for us, a huge gift. Just the joy of a mom serving up that food for a little baby, preparing a nice surprise for her husband, the husband doing something nice for his wife. There's usually no big placard, "I did it." It's just, "I hope you enjoy it. It's for you. It's all about you." The humble person knows their place and knows that others have a place also. And then those who seek first places try to be out in front of the others. That's different in sports. That's what sports is about, that competition. Strong ones bring out even greater strength from others. The tougher the competition is, the more we have to exert ourselves. And then the ability to lose in the competition of sports. Now you can't distinguish between parents and baby. Before, the baby was very small. Humble yourself, the more, the greater you are. What beautiful wisdom is in that. Humble yourself, the more, the greater you are. I need to get down lower. I'm up here on the steps getting down to this. Now they're gone ahead of me, but maybe get out beside them over here. I think they're confident that I don't want to disturb them. There are only 3 boats here parked right now. I have one phone in my hand and the gimbal in the other hand, so I'm not adjusting the. There we go. My child, conduct your affairs with humility and you will be loved more than a giver of gifts. Amazing how people can leave bags of garbage in places like this. They have these beautiful boats and they don't think about others. And how easy it would have been to take that back into the dock and leave it there. But then it's not up to me to judge. That's a beautiful line there, Imcle. Forgiving is humility. Absolutely. And actually, it's also authentic self-love. Let me explain. By not forgiving, the person that's most hurt is ourselves. And by forgiving, the person that's most blessed is ourselves. And we can love our neighbor as ourselves, so we should really love ourselves in the healthy way. And one of the healthiest ways to love ourselves is to forgive others who have hurt us. Individually, as a group, as a people, to forgive. It's a great exercise of humility, because when we don't forgive, we want to force justice to happen. And it's completely out of our ability. We also want to force the past to be undone, which is also outside of our ability. But there is a path of healing, which is forgiveness. And the relationships after forgiveness can be much better than before the hurt. And that's really the whole plan of salvation. And it definitely does take humility to forgive. What a beautiful thought there. To be attentive to the needs of our neighbors. And that thought of forgiving oneself is filled with humility. That's very, very well said. Yes, Meg. You know, the person that's filled with pride can't forgive themselves because they feel so hurt that their image is damaged. Their self-image just internally to themselves, or their self-image, their image in front of others. And of course, our reputation is very important, a great treasure, an absolutely great treasure, no question about it. But it's not gained by denying or ignoring our own faults. Admission of fault in a healthy way is truthfulness. It was very hard for a lot of fellow Catholics when Pope Francis was apologizing in Canada. Some people are very tired of the amount of forgiveness because so many baptized and ordained people have done horrible things. And the expectation is that everybody behaves like angels. And we obviously have to try and aim for the good. But to recognize the mistakes of the past is a great path to rebuilding relationships that are broken. Maybe one of the issues is that there's such an expectation of perfection. It's kind of a hypocritical situation of our world, of our thinking. And we demand that from others. We demand it of the church, we demand it of different people. And obviously, there's the whole point of walking the walk and walking the talk and not just be preaching, because the mission of the church is to announce good news. But announcing it isn't just from a microphone, from a podium, from a pedestal, from a pulpit, from a cathedra. Announcing it is a lifestyle. That's the key. Announcing is much tougher than just saying the words. It's easy for me to talk here every morning. Yeah, I got some of the doves there coming down. I was trying to, or maybe they're herons. There was a whole flock of white birds coming down the mountain. I was trying to zero in on them for you there. You see, that's the point of what forgiveness is recurring here in the comments, and that's very good because, you know, one of the biggest blocks to forgiveness is pride. And it's also fear. Fear of being taken advantage of if I forgive. And there's also the misunderstanding that if I forgive that the thing doesn't matter. Of course it matters, and it caused terrible hurt. But forgiveness and that hurt are two different things. Forgiveness is where I stand in front of the hurt that person did to me. Where I stand in front of the person who did the hurt to me. And I have pity on that person, compassion for them, because at the end of the day, really nobody is proud of having hurt others. How could you be proud of hurting others? That's a sick mind. Really a sick mind, an unbalanced person, a person who doesn't understand the struggle of life and existence. It's the total opposite to compassion. Pope Francis recently made a very strong statement about the only weapon to use in war is forgiveness. The only weapon of a Christian in war is forgiveness. It's a very provocative statement. And the wars aren't just the big ones on the international scene, they're also in the kitchen. They're also in the family, in the neighborhood, in the classroom, the playground, or the playground of the big boys. The playgrounds of business and international affairs and business deals, and to be able to learn to forgive. It wasn't our theme today really, but it's come in very well. There's a great reading there from the letter to the Hebrews, showing that marvelous connection in the awareness of the first Christians of the Old and New Testaments, aware also of the difference, and therefore aware of the call of new life, and aware of this whole culture of then freedom to forgive. People, I hope you're blessed also to know the beauty of humility. It's a reflection of God, because God is really the ultimate humble one. And the whole process of the incarnation really is one huge, huge drama of humility. Every action that Jesus did is really totally filled with humility. It's amazing. What a motivation for us to choose the lower place, to choose to go by unnoticed, to keep doing good. That's a wonderful message for us today on this beautiful Sunday. People, God bless you. Thank you for joining us here in Magla. See you later, alligators. Have a blessed Sunday, a blessed week.